ونعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر نفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد ونعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده أنت سواك ونصر عبدا ونصر جودا ونصر نفسك وحده لا إله إلا الله ونصر إلهيا ملزم العبدين ولم يغفروا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا كثيرا الفاتحة بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين آمين قل يا يقول آمين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر كبيرا ọ̀rọ̀ ọpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run ọ̀rọ̀ ọpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run láti ọpẹ́ alárégbé alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin ọlọ́run kì í bá ṣe ládùúgbà lónìí ọlọ́run ṣàgbàwọ̀ ọlọ́run ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ látọ̀ látọ̀ kéde lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ fi ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ látọ̀ látọ̀ kéde lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ àmì ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá mi gbọ́
Oh snap, okay.
ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ bùkátà wàrà bọ̀ kéde lẹ́fẹ̀ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́
Like a gator around here.
ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ bùkátà wàrà bọ̀ kéde lẹ́fẹ̀ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́ ìkúrẹ́nì bá gbọ́. kọ́lọ́ òun gbọ́ tó náà ni ẹ ti rí ké fi Kùránì bá mi gbọ́ fi Kùránì bá gbọ́ bùkátà lọ́dọ̀kè délẹ̀ fi Kùránì bá gbọ́ mi lọ. A jẹ́ kí àáfà nígbà tí àáfà tí wọ́n ti wà níjókòó a jẹ́ kí wọ́n fi ẹnu àbáríkà wọ́n fi kí kútùbà rẹ̀ fún wa kí ọlọ́run kí ọmọ ṣàgbá ní. Allahu Akbar. Aláwọ̀ gbọ́rù yẹn ọ̀gbà wọn kún lójú orí rẹ̀. Ẹwà lè ní èyí bàbá lọ́wọ́ wá sí ìgbà yìí. Ẹjẹ́ ṣe Allahu Akbar. Sallallahu sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih Allahumma inni as'aluka khayra ma sa'alak wa khayra ad-du'a wa khayra an-najah wa khayra al-ilm wa khayra al-amal wa khayra al-thawab wa khayra al-hayat wa khayra al-mamat wa thabbit wa zaki al-mawazin wa haqiq imani wa anha darajati wa taqabbal salati wa akfir hajati wa as'aluka dayati la min al-jahil Allahumma inni as'aluka mu'timan da'watika wa naima rabbika wa salamata min kulli sayyi wa kalimata min kulli dhurri ذنب إلا غفرته ولا هم إلا فرجته ولا دين إلا قضيته ولا أجر من أود منا ولا أجر إلا وجدنا ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة يا كريم أبلي لا إلهي وجهك سيئات ورجاء àtọwọ́ ó túbọ̀ àti pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ ẹ má jẹ́ gbèsè ẹgbẹ́ sán kí ọlọ́mọ aláǹkó lè
dáadáa fún ìmọ̀kúnra ìlọ́pọ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe introduction sí bismillah.
صلوا على النبي الكريم
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
صلوا على النبي المصطفى ada ọpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run ada ọpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run
alhamdulillah
ada ọpẹ́ wa ládé ní alhamdulillah so láì ní waste time ara wa special Laylatul Qadr ni à ń ṣe lónìí. The reason to be a special one is because this is the first time that we're going to have brothers and sisters from other states to join us for this Laylatul Qadr. We have our Nasfat members from the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, in our midst. I'm going to introduce them. I'm just telling us where they are from. We also have members from Maryland and the DC area. We have members all the way from Toronto, Canada. First and foremost, I'm going to introduce Alhaji Hakim Abdul Salam, the chairman, Nasfat, Bay Area, California. Alhaji Abu Abdi. Takbir! Takbir! And I'm going to introduce next to him, he's a very good friend of Nasfat Houston. He's been here almost 3 times or more than that. He's a very foundation member of Nasfat Nigeria, one of the strong pillars, foundation members of Nasfat Nigeria, and the person of Alhaji Abdul Karim Olariwaju Gidado from California. Takbir! Takbir! And in our midst also is our brother from Maryland and the DC area, and the person of brother Yakub Adeshinyo. Takbir! Takbir! That is it on the part of our men's side. And please, about Alaja Alaja Zainab Dosumu, all the way from Nasfat, Toronto, Canada. Takbir! Afa, Olawashi, Adwaf, and and at the same time, we are saying welcome to all our brothers and sisters here in the Houston area and its environment. Kí Ọlọ́run bá gbàdúrà yín fún wa. Sọ́dọ̀ wà lánàá bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ́lẹ́.
Àgbà fún bọ́lá tí wọ́n máa ṣe introduction náà. A kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin àlejò wa kò wọ́n mú fá kí wọ́n tó wọ plane. Ọlọ́run bá tó sọ yín débi. Ọlọ́run ṣàbá dá yín padà sílé láwọn àti àlàáfíà. Òun Laylatul Qadr náà tí gbogbo wa ń jẹ̀wé táwọn wá Ọlọ́run tẹ̀kẹ̀ bá pàdé. Lálẹ́ yìí kẹ́ bá pàdé. Ọlọ́run wa fún wa tún meeting your point of need. Ọlọ́run wa pàdé ẹ̀wọ̀n ṣe sí. Gbogbo mo fẹ́ yí Ọlọ́run kó bá yín fẹ́. Ọlọ́run kọ̀ mú kọ yín Ọlọ́run kó bá yín kọ́. Bismillah inna a'tayna.
صلوا على النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم. Ìdúró yẹ́kí ayọ̀gbọ́ ànábì wa Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم صل وسلم اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد عليه وسلم كوي اللهم صل وسلم على اللهم صل وسلم على اللهم صل ويا قسمان وما نوتكم اللهم صل فإنما يشكر لنفسه وما كفى فإن الله غني يعمل وإذ قال لقمان لابنه وهو يعظه يا بني لا تشرك بالله إن الشرك ظلم صدق الله العظيم. ṣe wa àwọn náà ni ustaz wa Lukman Adéyẹmọ ẹ̀ka lọ bí Allahu Akbar lọ bí Allahu Akbar lọ bí Allahu Akbar.
الله خالقنا مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا الله مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا. gbogbo wa náà lálẹ́ wí ó yí sí ju etí àfàṣẹ méjì wílẹ̀ kan ẹ bá jọ wí náà ní alẹ́. الله خالقنا الله نظرت بها إلى القبيح فكانت مبتدأ نكدي. الله خالقنا الله مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا. wọ́n ti àwọn bíi àwọn pẹ̀lú ọlọ́run la wà yìí bí a máa dé ilé èèyàn tí ẹni tó nílé tó dúró àwọn àlejò fò ọlọ́run tí ó ní ilé ọ̀làndà ọkọ̀ rẹ̀ tó dúró yìí pẹ̀lú gbogbo àlejò wá jókòó àjọ lọ́wọ́ lọ́kọ́ nìyẹn àjọ sí ìwọ̀n yẹn ọlọ́run kò kára rẹ̀ ní ìtòrí Allahu Maulana Allahu Khaliquna Allahu Maulana Allahu Khaliquna Allahu Maulana Allahu Khaliquna خلعت به دنيا ولم أكن من خير بمجتهد. الله خالقنا الله مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا. أستغفر الله من كل ذنوب فقد أضلت ذنوبي إذا ذكرتها جسدي. الله خالقنا الله مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا. أستغفر الله من رزق بلغت به إلى ماسل إله الواحد الصمد. الله خالقنا قلبي تشاغل عن فهم العظات إلى فهم العظات إلى اللذات والنفد. الله خالقنا الله مولانا 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 الله خالقنا الله مولانا. أستغفر الله من علم أردت به ما ليس يريد إليه مدة الأبد. الله خالقنا الله مولانا الله خالقنا الله مولانا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا kí àjọkò ẹjá àjọkò ọlọ́wọ́ bá yọ ìjọba ọlọ́wọ́ ṣe àtúnṣe mi ó tún ń dá wa sí ó ń ṣàánú wa ó sọ wa di àsìkò yìí gbogbo ọlọ́wọ́ bá ṣe fún wa yìí a ní owó kan tá a fẹ́ fi san a ní ọlá kan tí ó lè kájú ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni alhamdulilayi lápapọ̀ náà lọ gbogbo àwọn tí ọlọ́ni kan gbé ètò Nasfat dání láti ibi tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti ibi tó dé ọlọ́run mọ́ darí oníkálukú náà ọlọ́run ṣe dára fún oníkálukú wa ọlọ́run kó bá wa tó ètò ìgbésí ayé wa gbogbo àwọn afárá lọ́dún bá bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bọ̀ látàárọ̀ látọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ustaz wa Sibir ustaz Said alájí wa lọ́rọ̀ nítorí wọn afárá tó kù tí wọ́n bá ka Quran ọlọ́run kó bá ṣe dára fún oníkálukú wa ara nǹkan tí ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa àwa ummatul Islam òun náà ni pé nǹkan tó lọ́run ṣe fún àwọn anẹ́mìdókù tí ó ń yọ fún wọn díẹ̀ ó díẹ̀ ló wá gbé fáwa.
likulli nabiyyin fil anami fadilatun wa jumlatuha majmu'atun li Muhammadin majmu'atun li Muhammadin.
Nabi Isa ọlọ́run bá sọ̀rọ̀ wa kallama Allahu Musa taklima. Nabi Isa ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa ayyadnahu bi ruhil qudus. ó gbọ́n wọ́n yìí àmọ́ kò sẹ́ni tí ọlọ́run bá sọ̀rọ̀ lójoojúmọ́ nínú wọn. ẹ̀yin àwọn wa tá a jẹ́ mùsùlùmí bá bá ti gbààwẹ̀ tá a fẹ́ ṣínu àsìkò tá a fẹ́ ṣínu yẹn gàgá tí ń bẹ láàrin àwọn àtọ́lọ́run láàrin Musa àtọ́lọ́run kí ọlọ́run bá sọ̀rọ̀ ó ń gbọ́ yẹn gàgá 70,000 tó wà ń bẹ̀ ọmọ àdáyé tọ́lọ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ ó ń gbọ́ ọlọ́run náà ń gbọ́ tiẹ̀ ó wá rò pé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ti rinlẹ̀ ju kí á mọ̀ ríra wa lọ wọ́n ní ọlọ́run mo fẹ́ rí ẹ gbogbo yẹn tabátí lọ síbẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ pọ̀ mbẹ̀ àmọ́dé àwọn táwa jẹ́ umma ní Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam tá a bá ti wá fẹ́ ṣínú tá a bá ti gbà rẹ̀ tá a bá ti fẹ́ ṣínú gàgà 70,000 yẹn wọ́n kà kúrò mbẹ̀ àdúrà tá a bá ṣe ń gbà yẹn láàrin àwọn àtọ́lọ́hun kò sí hijab mbẹ̀ ìkànnì ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì nínú òru tá a wà yìí Musa ó rìn lọ gba ọ̀rọ̀ wá lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run kó tó dé àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀yìn rẹ̀ ti di tọ́ọ̀gì Ìsá àwọn gbà sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn méjìlá pẹ́lẹ́ náà ni wọ́n gbà fún bàtà wọn gbàgbọ́ Muhammad dé ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ kalẹ̀ fún ọ̀rọ̀ Muhammad ní 23 years wọ́n ní àwa tá a tẹ̀lé nígbà tí Ọlọ́run ń dá màláíkà Jibril à ń bọ̀ wá sí gbogbo àgbàlagbà àgbàlagbà fi bí ìwọlé náà ni o ìgbà tó ríra ẹ̀ wọ́n pé òun fáìn jù ní àwọn màláíkà ó pé òun ti rẹwà jù ó wà yẹn náfìlà méjì tó yẹn yìí ó kéré ká ní ó fi bí 100,000 years ní ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan ìgbà tó wá ṣe tán Ọlọ́run wá ní ó káàbọ̀ kí ló ṣe yẹn fún ó ní gbà tí mo rí bó ṣe dá mi tí mo wá dá mo wá wò pé kí mo fẹ́ fi dúpẹ́ fún Ọlọ́run òun ló jẹ́ kí n yan náfìlà yẹn Ọlọ́run wá ní síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ àwọn kan bọ̀ tí ànábì kan bọ̀ tí máa gbé dìde nígbẹ̀yìn ìgbà àwọn jàmáà rẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá yan náfìlà ẹyọ kan tí ò ju ìṣẹ́jú méjì lọ ìwọ yan ní 100,000 years oorun kankan àwọn wọn ro kọ̀bùlí wọn ro bàdí wọn ro owó ilé wọn tí wọn Nàìjíríà wọn ro owó ilé wọn tí wọn ò fi sàn ní àyè wọn ro ẹni tí wọn jọ ń jà mọ́sálásí wọ́n ro ìjà tí wọ́n fẹ́ parí tó bá ṣe tán wọ́n ro ọba ní àmọ́ síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ ń gba náfìlà àti wọn síwájú kí n kó tó gba náfìlà àti ẹ̀yìn. ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí àwọn ọmọ pa wọ́n láṣẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ni ìwọ ìfẹ́ náà rẹ ló fi ṣe. ọlọ́wọ́ aṣọ Kùránì kalẹ̀ fáwa ojoojúmọ́ àwọn ọmọ bọ́lá ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ tí Musa lọ gbà wá tó dé tí wọ́n ti dalẹ̀ rú kó tó dé tó wá fọ́ ọmọlẹ̀ tí wọ́n ń sa ní kọ̀ọ̀kan Ọlọ́run wa kójọ fáwa ojoojúmọ́ àwa wá ní opportunity àti máa bá Ọlọ́run sọ̀rọ̀ kó o náà máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ yóò máa bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ á máa bá ẹni tó bá ń ta Kùránì dáadáa yóò máa mọ̀ lára rẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run bá òun sọ̀rọ̀ òun náà ń bọ́ lọ́run sọ̀rọ̀. ẹ̀yin àwọn dúró ìkọ́nà ọba ṣe fún wa yìí ká kóra àjọ lálẹ́ ọjọ́ òní ká ní pé torí ìtọ́ Ọlọ́run ni àtòrí Ọlọ́run kan torí ara wa ni àwọn tá a bá ń torí Ọlọ́run á fẹ́ fi jọ àwọn kẹrin Ọlọ́run lè bá àsìwọ́n alẹ́sàn tó pọ̀ wọn bá tí wọ́n dá wọn mọ́jú Ọlọ́run kó bá a ṣàánú yín o Ọlọ́run bá a ṣe dára fún yín àwọn ìyá wa náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run bá a ṣe dára fún yín o Ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ ká mọ̀ rí bá Ramadan eléyìí Ọlọ́run fi ṣe àṣemọ́ fún wa Ọlọ́run agbára àti ògo Ọlọ́run. ìfẹ́ Ànábì lẹ́mìíyàn bí o bá ti dúró tán èèyàn tí ì di mùsùlùmí. Sayyidina Umar Rasul was sitting one day and came over to Prophet and he asked him and he told him, Umar told Muhammad and said, Muhammad, I love you but I love myself more than you. And Muhammad said, you will not be a believer until you love me more than you love yourself. Everyone says, okay, right now, I love you more than myself. I love you more than my children. I love you more than my wealth. I love you more than everything in this world. Brother says, if that is the case, now you are a believer. So when we started these, we asked people to do Salat al-Fatih or any kind of Salat that you can do. If there is anything you're doing and you have not allowed the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to sit in your heart, it's just like wasting your time. If there is anything you're doing, if you have not allowed Muhammad to be loved more than yourself, what you're doing is as bad as wasting your time. Because Allah says in Surah Al-Imran,
قل إن كنتم تحبون أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني
قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني
يحبون الله فاتبعوني
قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني
يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم يحببكم الشيء
يحببكم الله ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم والله غفور رحيم.
I want to put one Nabi.
How can people claim that they love Allah that they did not see? How can you possibly love something that you've never seen? That's a deceit. How can you say I love him and you've never seen him? How can you say I love him and you ask him for money and never gave it to you? How can you say I love him and you ask him for children and never gave it to you? And yet you say I love him. And in Yoruba language they say anything powerful and be Obama, anything powerful to Obama, anything powerful. He says, forget about Allah. Don't love Allah because you've never seen Allah. Saying you love Allah, you're probably saying that out of deceit to yourself. If indeed you love Allah, if truly you are in love with Allah, فَاتَّبِعُونِ, do not love Allah. Follow Muhammad. يُحْبِبُكُمُ اللَّهُ, because you follow Muhammad, the result of you loving Muhammad is that Allah that you wanted to love, that's why the fact that you now see him, will now start loving you. Because you love Muhammad. وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ, then having loved you, then he's going to forgive you all your sins. Wallahu inna Allah ghafurur rahim. It is part of Allah's attribute. He is all forgiving. It's all merciful. It is by virtue of the fact that we love Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we have denied ourselves the most enjoyable act in human life is sleep. If you are sleep deprived, then it's a problem. You are unhealthy. It is medically considered a sickness when you cannot sleep. And we now forgo all our sleep. We gather in this mosque for the sake of someone that we've never seen, someone we've never met, someone we only read about. What if it's not true?
تتجافى جنوبهم عن المضاجع ويدعون ربهم خوفا وطمعا ومما رزقناهم ينفقون.
He says of those people who deprive themselves of the most enjoyable acts in human life because they're calling on the Lord and hoping that Allah will bless them, are being saddled with a responsibility tonight. And the responsibility is very simple. I was asked by Nasfat to talk about living as immigrants in America, our challenges and their solutions. And when I was given this topic, it compounded my problem as an immigrant, because I could not figure out what I wanted to talk about. Or you talking about just check this out. They say living as immigrants in America, our challenges and their solutions. They said our challenges. So I'm not sure if they're talking about the Muslim immigrants or they're talking about non-Muslim immigrants. I'm not sure if they're talking about African immigrants or non-African immigrants. I'm not sure if they're talking about the legal immigrants or the illegal immigrants. Because to each and every one of these groups, there are peculiar problems. And I'm not sure which of them they want me to talk about. And I guess they believe I can talk about this right now as a legal immigrant. Then I'm qualified to talk about it. So if I would share with you my own challenges, maybe that would suffice. It is what? Muslim immigrants, mashallah. The Nigerian Muslim immigrants? Because the challenges facing Nigerian Muslim immigrants are totally different from the ones facing the non-Nigerian Muslim immigrants. But inshallah, Allah will guide us. To start with, to be an immigrant, you want to look at it from an Islamic perspective. Is it allowed for a Muslim to be an immigrant in a foreign land? You look at it from an Islamic perspective. Islam, inna al-Islam hayatun nafsuha. Islam itself is the perfect way of life. Islam contributes to everything. Islam talks about each and every sphere of human life. Allah says in Surah Al-Zumar, verse 10. Further, Ya Shaykh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا عبادي الذين آمنوا اتقوا ربكم للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا حسنة وأرض الله واسعة إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم بغير حساب.
Àfá ìtì ẹ̀, ó ti bá ìyàwó rẹ̀ àtọmọ rẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ní New York lónìí.
قل يا عبادي الذين آمنوا.
Òun wáyé fún ọ̀rẹ́ ọ̀há. Òun ni wọ́n jọ máa sọ̀rọ̀. Ọlọ́ba aṣọ wọlé. Àbá tí àwọn ti ẹgbẹ́ Houston ẹ̀yẹ wí ká gbọ́. Of importance and substance in the face of Allah is maqamul ubudiyya, the servantry level. On the day of resurrection, if you are a rich person, you're not going to enter Jannah with that feature of a rich person. If you are an Afar, you're not going to enter Jannah with that feature of an Afar. If you are a Sheikh, you're not going to enter Jannah with being a Sheikh. On the day of resurrection, when it's all said and done, the mode with which you're going to enter Jannah is the mode of Ubudiyya. Allah now gave us, do you understand? Allah gave us the rope with which we're going to enter Jannah here on the surface of earth. It calls us, Ya Ibadi, oh my servants, on whom Jannah is compulsory. Those who believe in Allah. Allah is not talking about everybody over here. It's talking about those who have faith in Allah, not those who fear Allah. Some people fear Allah because of what Allah will do to them. Because they are every day of their lives, they are engrossed in bad deeds. And when they hear about the hellfire, then they fear Allah. And Allah is not to be feared. Allah is to be conscious of. لأن من خاف شيئا هرب منه لكن إذا كنا نخاف الله لماذا نهرب إليه? If we fear Allah, when you fear something, you run away from that thing. So why is it that if we truly fear Allah, why do we always run to Allah? So you have to fear Allah, you have to be conscious of Allah as Allah is conscious of you. It says, my servants, those who have the consciousness of Allah, I want you to be conscious of your sustainer. In this one verse, Allah is using interchangeably some words. It says, be conscious of your sustainer. Sustainer, what does that mean? Someone that gives you sort of a livelihood, right? If you have to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, and after sahur you go to sleep, you don't wake up until 9 o'clock, what happens? You go into sudden palpitation in your chest. Your heart keeps going up and down. I'm going to be fired today. Right? But guess what though? If you had slept and you fail to pray Salatul Fajr, does your heart go up and down like that? That's one thing about human heart that you don't understand. Human heart is programmed, look at your work clock. It's programmed to work to the point in its life. Then it's going to stop working. It's not going to work beyond that time that it's programmed to work. Just like your Dell laptop, your Apple iPad. They're programmed to work to a point in your lifetime that you either have to upgrade or you buy a new one. The same thing with human heart. Human heart is programmed to beat at a level. It is programmed to beat for as long as you live. Say for instance, you're going to live 100 years old. If you've been destined to live 100 years old, your heartbeat could have been programmed to be 1 million beats. But each time you do a bad deed, you hasten the beat of your heart, and that shuts in your life. So Allah says, so that you can elongate your life and live your full life, ittaqu rabbakum, be conscious of your Lord. Because when you're conscious of your Lord, you do what He says to do and move away from what He says to move away from. Ittaqu rabbakum.
Ittaqu rabbakum.
And we'll let
الذين آسنوا في الدنيا حسنة.
It says for those who serve Allah as if they see Allah on the surface of heart, Allah will deal with them as if they are the only one. Do you understand? للذين أحسنوا من أحسن يحسن إحسانا. Those who worship Allah as if they see Allah in this on the surface of heart, for them is goodness.
هذه الدنيا حسنة وعد الله واسعة.
وعد الله. Also, Quran is such a very beautiful book. You can now understand the Quran and be done. Do you understand? If you understand the Quran, you must be a wise person. It says, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةٌ. Hasanatun here is nakra. It is indefinite. Do you understand? It says for those who do good on the surface of hearts, then we promise them goodness. Various kind of goodness. And having said we promise them goodness, what does He say? Okay, check this out. You've been worshiping Allah all this while in Nigeria, right? You pray the Hajjud, you do istighfar, you do salawat. Alladina ahsanu fi hadhihi dunya. You're doing that because you want hasan, you want goodness. And Allah does not give you that goodness. Allah says, I do not promise you goodness in that state. Inna abdallahi wasa'a. Get away from Nigeria and go somewhere else. You've been in Houston all this while, reading Quran, doing tahajjud. You have all the certification. And because Allah says, لِلَّذِينَ أَحْسَنُوا فِي هَذِهِ الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةٌ وَعَدُ اللَّهِ وَاسِعٌ. It says because Allah said, for those who do good, who go to school, they work very hard, for them who practice their goodness, and you now sit in Houston. Houston is neither in Jebu nor Ibadan. You're not from here. You gotta move. You gotta move, get up. If goodness does not come where you are, you gotta chase it.
إن الله ما يغير بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم.
I'm not saying over here. It says for those who do good, who have done everything they are supposed to do, and yet goodness has not come to them, and they hear about goodness somewhere, as long as it is halal, fatuhajir. Travel. The reason why some people are still in the same spot today is because they haven't traveled. The reason why they're still where they are, because they say, well, I cannot live in a cold region. Hello? This is America. You never knew of Houston while you were in Nigeria. You thought everywhere was cold anywhere. Part of our challenge is because we fail to understand the Quran. Muslim immigrants in America, we fail to understand what the Quran is telling us.
Because I'm the chairman of Nasfat, then I cannot leave. Hello? Nasfat is going to leave you. By the time you become broke, they're going to get another chairman. I can tell you that for sure. And I was telling a brother of mine, I came back to Houston right now. I told him, brother, if you don't leave, these same people that you don't want to leave, they're going to be there in 10 years. You better go and come back and meet them in a better way. Part of our problem is we don't understand what the Quran is telling us. We get too lazy. We're too comfortable. Why do we come to these countries if you don't want to move? Allah says move. Allah's land, Allah's earth is expansive. How many places have you traveled to? And I promise you, the more you travel, the wiser you become. The more you travel, the more opportunity comes your way. Are you listening? You gotta move. Go live where you are. Do you know what people in Nigeria thought you were better than them? Because you moved. The reason why you are where you are today as a Muslim immigrant in America is because you got too comfortable. You left a country promising, I'm going to go in chase of success, whatever it takes, and you got to Houston, you got comfortable. Because housing is cheap. Because it's not cold. And you're earning how much? $10.50 an hour. Brothers, I'll tell you this. When you buy yourself, it's easy to do. Because all you got to do is just buy jeans and a shirt and pay your rent. But is that the kind of life you want to live for the rest of your life? You left some people in Nigeria that are better than you right now. They move. If people can go in Nigeria from Lagos to Abuja every day, as risky as it is, why can't you move? You got too comfortable. And Allah says, Inna Abdullahi wasa.
إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم.
As-sabirun. Those who are patient shall be given their reward countlessly, unmeasured. Those who are patient, doesn't say those who are comfortable. Because you might get to where you're moving to and thinking today the money should come today. But in another 2 years the money's not here. You still got to keep moving. Sometimes your movement does not have to do with moving from a state to a state. It has to do with what is on the ground. What are people doing? The reason why there is so much hate in the Nigerian community is because we have failed to move. The reason why there is so much hatred is because we have failed to move. And you look at your brother who came to this country after you, is doing so well. Why? Because he came in, he does Cisco, he does which other one? SAP, he does PMP, all these things. He's moving, but you are in the same spot. So when you now come to the masjid, when they're talking about something else, we're talking about A, you are talking about B. So you don't fit anymore. And what happens? You develop this unnecessary hate in your mind, thinking they're talking about me, they hate me so much. You hate yourself. Some people think they're too old to go to school. How old are you? That means you're not a Muslim. I have an uncle in this masjid. He has 2 PhDs. Now PhD. He has 2 professorships. And how old are you? When Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was asked, for how long shall we learn? They said, for how long shall we learn? He says, تَعَلُّمُ الْعِلْمِ مِنَ الْمَهْدِ إِلَى اللَّهْدِ. The duration for learning starts from your cradle to your grave. As long as there is blood in your vein, as long as you're breathing, you got to keep learning. Part of our problem is we got too comfortable. We don't want to learn. And indeed, the heart of Allah is massive, is expansive.
إنما يوفى الصابرون. إنما يوفى الصابرون أجرهم.
We fail to do what the Muslims, immigrants of yesterday did. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam
wasallam, he was in his place of birth in Mecca. He says, I was born here. And of course he was born there. His father was not a stranger in Mecca. His family were noble, that was a noble family in Mecca. But when the time came for him to move, he moved. Why haven't you moved? Number one problem facing Nigerian immigrants, I'm not talking about the Pakistani immigrants because I don't know them. The Nigerian Muslim immigrants is because we have failed to move with time. Maybe that will lead us to other problems. Look at us here. How long has Nasfat been here? Mominin has been there for about 15 years. Nasfat has been here for about what? Maybe 10 years? And we're still in the same spot. In a little while, we're going to ask for a donation. We haven't moved. We're still in the same spot. We go back to the same traditional old way. The same way we did things yesterday that was not to our favor, we're still doing it the same way today. Look in this hall. I can count at least 20 graduates in this hall. 20 graduates. Now tell me, why must we be broke? Why must the masjid still be begging for money? In this masjid, we have engineers, we have CPAs, we have lawyers and others, and yet we cannot plan. We bank on begging. Nothing comes out of begging but insults. Nothing comes out of begging but you start to demean yourself. And the Muslims that don't want to give, whenever they hear about Laylatul Qadr at Nasfat, I'm not going because they're going to start begging for money anyway. Does this masjid have a taxi cab? Don't we have unemployed brothers who can drive? What did we do with the money that we collected last year? Why can't the masjid have a taxi cab and give it to a brother and sign a contract with like this jobless brother? Brother, you drive this cab. Bring the money back every month. This is going to be your portion. This much percentage will be the masjid's portion. We're not thinking about that. When it's time for Ramadan next year, we're going to have Ramadan contribution. You have Ramadan is month number 9, right? On Islamic calendar. Before Ramadan, we have 8 months. After Ramadan, we have 3 months. So what are we doing in 11 months? Why do we wait a week before Ramadan before we start asking for money? Why can't we have a Ramadan bank into which every graduate in the masjid contributes $50 every month? Why can't we have that? The Christians, they have it. We've been in the same spot for 10 years. Go on beach nuts. Those churches, they meet us here. They have their big churches, they have their daycare. What is our problem? What is our problem? And we patronize them. Christians patronize them. Non-Christians patronize them. Don't you think if you have a daycare here, you have a potential market in front of you, there is an apartment building right here, they will patronize you. Why can't you employ the unemployed in the masjid so the masjid can become rich? When it comes to time for you to hire your imam, you go for the worst of the worst. How can I cannot? It's quite inconceivable that in America, a bunch of graduates bring themselves together. They want to hire an imam who is meant to help design the future of their children, and they hire the worst of the worst. This is America. Your imam cannot speak English. Why do you hire him? You hire him out of pity or what? And when eventually they hire that can speak English. By the time, see, we sell ourselves so cheap. So cheap. And there's no branding. We just so raw. By the time they hire that who can speak English, there is no package. And you expect the best of him. Let me ask you this. when you go to apply for your job, did they tell you what you're going to do first? Or they tell you how much they're going to pay you? Of course they tell you how much they're going to pay you with the packages, right? But the imam, you tell the imam, you will lead a salatu, you will teach the children this, you will teach them that, and your imam does not even have a dental insurance. Your imam that you hired 15 years ago, you paying him the same amount. When I came to this country 10 years ago, I know how much gas price has jumped up. So imagine hiring someone 10 years ago and you still paying him the same amount till now, and you want the best from him. You're deceiving yourself. You know why? Because you got too comfortable. All you want to do is just come here and sit down. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. That is spiritual. That is only spiritual. What about the physical? And when your imam falls sick, you're going to go back to the old-fashioned way of begging. For how long are we going to be stagnant? Take a head count today. The Muslims that come to the masjid more, go and look in the statistics. The children are those who cannot secure admission to 4-year college. The Muslim, listen very carefully. The Muslim that come to the masjid more, the children are those who start their college from 2-year college. So those who do not come to the masjid as much as you do, the children are higher flyers. Are you listening? It's almost an oxymoron. That you who claim to know Allah more, you are settling for less. When those who don't give a damn about Allah, they are soaring every day. What is the problem? If indeed the Quran has said, وَالَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا يُوَفَّى أُجُورَهُم ماذا قال؟
إنما يوفى صابرون أجرهم.
Those who are patient with Allah, Allah says, I'm going to give them their reward immeasurably. Why is it that those that come to the masjid are those that settle for less? Why do Muslim children today settle for less? Those are the questions you ask yourself. Alan, wassalam wa marhaba. Ṣé à ń kírun lọ́wọ́ ni? À kírun ẹ̀dẹ̀ kí àwọn afá mi.
Habibu Mariaba. Words.
Ẹ̀yà jọ kọ́ lọ́pọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ àdúgbò wà lẹ́wọ̀n. Ọwọ́ máa fi ọ̀rọ̀ fi
ويا عبادي الذين آمنوا.
Allah says, I call on you, those of you that are faithful.
اتقوا ربكم.
Be conscious of your Lord.
للذين أحسنوا في هذه الدنيا.
Hasanatun, for those who do good in this world, we promise them various kind of goodness. But it's as if that promise has not come to pass for Muslims. Because we too lackadaisical. We non-challenge. We think Allah is going to do everything for us. We just sit there. What is the problem? Why can't we move? Why are we so comfortable where we are? And one of the Muslims had asked him to pray for him. And the boats were facing the Kaaba. And says, oh Allah, bless his brother. Brother says, Ameen. Oh Allah, give him money. Says, Ameen. Oh Allah, make his children good children. Say, Ameen. He prayed for him. They were facing the Kaaba. He says, Ameen, 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 Ameen. And when the Imam was about to round off the prayer, he says, oh Allah, do not answer any of this prayer until this brother quits smoking. The brother did not say Amen. ما يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Do you understand? Allah says you should be conscious of Allah. Ittaqullah means be conscious of Allah. Know what you're asking for and be real with it. It says, do not answer that prayer until this brother quits smoking. Brother did not say Amen. So he was not ready to quit smoking, but yet we want Allah to bless him. The same problem is the problem of the Nigerian Muslim in America. We want Allah to bless us, but when it comes to Allah say, leave this, we don't leave it. Do this, we don't do this. I told you here the other day. Part of our problem is because we have twisted history. And when you twist history, it's not history no more. It becomes fiction. When history is twisted, when an historical fact is twisted, it becomes fiction. And in literature, you all know what fiction means. Let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you this categorically. Historically, Muslim communities were founded by scholars. Muslim communities were known to have been founded by Muslim scholars. A lawyer cannot start a CPA office. Neither can a doctor start a law office. So today what we have is this. Some ordinary Muslims who know nothing about Islam are starting Islamic organizations and they will hire a scholar. That is a twist, a complete twist of an historical hierarchy, historical sequence. And what you get is not real anymore, you get a fiction. So we ask ourselves, these scholars, what are they doing? Why are they so comfortable being hired by those who know nothing about the religion? Because they failed to do what the Muslim scholars of yesterday did. You don't have to be rich to start an Islamic organization. Imam Shafi'i was not rich. Imam Maliki was not rich. Abu Hanifa was not rich. What did they do? They sat down with the knowledge. They started with 2, 3, 4, 5 students. So when people saw how beneficial it was, they started coming to them. So the rich ones started coming. The doctors started coming. The pharmacists started coming. The engineers started coming. So there are 2 links. One link is that of academic link that exists between a teacher and a student. The other link is that of a spiritual link that exists between an imam and his congregation, his followers. So the one building the mosque among the students are those that are rich. They can donate to build the mosque. They want to buy something for the masjid. Among the students are those who can buy it. They donate to buy it. So there is that very strong bond between them and their teacher. But today reverse is the case. The rich one who know nothing about Islam are those that will start an Islamic organization and they will not hire an imam. And you not expect them. So when they talk about something, they talk about their bylaw. And the Constitution says, not the Quran says, in the house of Allah. So when you run around Houston today, your imams do not look like the pastors. Run around Houston today, your imams don't have no cars. They have no parking spots. Why? Because they've allowed themselves to be run by those they should be running. That is part of our problems. And that trickles down. In one of Sheikh Adam's book, it says that the man will say, في فمي ماء وكيف ينطق من في فيه ماء كيف ينطق من في فيه ماء. So when they ask the scholar to talk about issues affecting the community, and he has to stand firm and talk the truth. He cannot talk the truth because he cannot talk the truth in front of his bosses. You know he's not going to get paid. He's scared of being sacked, of being fired, as we say in America. Imam Maliki was never scared of anybody because he was the teacher. We don't see our imams as our teachers today. We see them as our employee, and they are supposed to be our pathfinders to Jannah. How can we achieve that? Muslim immigrants, we're now ready to move. And Imam Shafi says we have to move. Huh? Imam Shafi says we have to what? To move.
تقرب
الأوطان في طلب العلا.
سافر ففي السفاري
ففي الأسفار
وسافر ففي السفاري خمس
فوائد. Muslim, you have to move. تقرب.
عن الأوطان.
Do not just live in America. Let America live through you.
في طلب العلا.
You start something without no plan. We start Islamic organization without no plan. What is our goal? We have no goal. Our goal is just to come together and pray and do as-salatu and do Laylatul Qadr. And we live in America. What is our goal?
وسافر ففي السفاري خمس
فوائد. When you can move, if you leave your comfort zone, you stand to gain 5 things.
تفرج هم
تفرج عني
واكتساب
تفرج عني.
تفرج هم.
The first one, the first benefit of leaving your comfort zone is that you get rid of your problems. Do you understand? When you were in Nigeria, because your father will ask you for money, your cousins will ask you for money, it was a problem. By the time you get on that plane, you left that problem behind. When they call you and you don't have money, you don't have to answer the phone. You can always tell them I was sleeping or I was at work. It is easy to say at that time because they don't see you. You leave your comfort zone. And now you can fend for yourself. You fend for yourself when you travel because you have nobody over there. You leave your comfort zone. Then you're going to gain knowledge and etiquette, and you're going to roll and roam with people of substance. You want to run the method like we run our offices today, and yet we want the best from our scholars. It's not going to happen. And I say one again, you cannot. If you want the best future for your children, you have to start having a plan. This is America. Your children are exposed to speaking English. Number 1 qualification to hire an imam other than Hafiz and someone that speaks Arabic is that he's got to be able to speak English. I mean, there is what we call interfaith conference that goes on every time in America. So you're going to send your stars there who doesn't speak English? So he's going to go there and start speaking Arabic? Or Yoruba? That is number 1. Number 2, you have to ask them. The employee and the employer, they have to set some goals. From the imam point of view, his goal will be, these are the things that I want. And these are the things that I'm going to deliver. And yours will be, these are the provisions we have. And these are the things that we promise you. Nasfat, we've been around for 10 years. I'm sure you have about 2-3 months that have been going. We can say it is a known fact. It's all over Houston. Which one of those last one had a dental insurance? None of them. Which one of them had a rental package? None of them. Which one of them have you paid for him to go to college? None of them. How have you engaged them? And you complain every time? And it's fi sabilillah. I'm sorry, but Abiola, those are the part of the questions you asked me. That's part of our problem. We don't move with time. We're very deceitful. We don't do all that. The Pakistanis, they are there. Tell me, oh, this is Ramadan. Ramadan. We do this every year. Alright? And in each mosque, at least we have an average of 200 members. An average of 200 members. So if we have 4 Nigerian mosques in Houston, that's about 800 members, right? Averagely, about 600 families. And we do groceries. In Ramadan, almost every 2 days. Why can't the 3 or 4 masjids come together and start their own grocery store and employ one of the brothers who is jobless in the masjid? You go to farmers markets individually, it's owned by non-Muslims. Why can't you start your own? Right underneath your nose, farmers market started on B-Select. You go there to buy iftar for the Muslims. And we come together every time, la ilaha illallah. Like, ما يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. What is the point? The Nasfat in Nigeria, they have a university. They have a college. They started pure water. They're very, they have all this. They're very industrious. And malls. I know their first chairman, and I know their first imam. They send him to school. Do you fight your own imam every day after sending him to school? But you don't want him to come and pray for your children when they get admission to college. And when he's leaving, you give him $300. Or even nothing because you pay his salary anyway. And you wonder why you haven't moved? There is no spiritual blessing. Islam is a combination of spirituality and religious physicality. You cannot do one without the other. We are knowledgeable enough to know all this. Why are we not thinking about it? There has to be a continuous revision of our imam's salary. If we cannot do that, we are not fit enough to have an organization. We can have a social club. Why are we deceiving ourselves? أتدري أن تكون رفيق قوم عبد الرحمن لهم زاد وأنت بغير زاد. You want to be like some people? Go on Beach Note. There are about 4 different Nigerian churches there. And they have programs almost every time. And they have their pastors. When you see that they're not knowledgeable that our imams, you work with those members that run the churches, you work with them. So how come they can do it and you cannot do it? Check yourself. ما يغير الله ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم.
له مؤكبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وإذا أراد الله بقوم سوء فلا مرد له.
إذا أراد الله بقوم
سوءا فلا مرد له وما له من دونه من وال.
When Allah is ready to destroy a nation, nothing can take it back. And how does Allah start to destroy a nation? When they start to twist historical sequence and want to make a fiction out of history. This is how, the same way, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would have the companion. I say it again and again. Islamic communities were never known to be started by those who have no problem with it, no business with it.
لقد كان في رسول الله أسوة حسنة.
The person that gave us the model for our religion, his name was Muhammad. And he had the way he did it. He started it. The companions after him, they were being paid, but they were still being seen as the teachers. So what's the problem today? The imams should ask themselves, the Muslims should ask themselves, if you are a da'i and you want to be respected, you want your message to have impact, go get some education. Start an Arabic school. Start a class. My teachers are here. I'm going to tell you this. If imams in Houston say today we're going to be on strike for a month, you're going to come back to beg them. So that means they have what you want. So they should be the ones sitting down and saying, we're starting this. And people will come and learn from us. But we have twisted the historical sequence, so what we get is not an historical fact, we get a fiction. We get too complacent. And let's assume the Afars do not know what they're supposed to do, and you guys hired them to come and work for you. It is still binding upon you not to see them as someone that is being paid, but as your imams. Once the spiritual aspect of it is taken care of, the physical is very simple. Your imam that you want to come and talk about what's going on in America does not even know how to read English news. So, and he's been here for whatever years, and he wanted to teach your children, the little ones. What are they going to get out of him? And they say Trayvon Martins, one of the hottest news going around. And you ask your imam about Trayvon Martins. He said, he's either Sahih Bukhari or Muslim. It's not a joke. These are the things that Muslim scholars will look at and develop a subject out of that and teach it to your children so their future could be good. But we come here every Sunday. As Salat, that's it, we'll go. That's it. Is that what we want to get out of it? Abdurrahman. Oh, yeah, can you Sunday with Malikini? Go to Limini, you know. King Bo. No, I'm made. Ọlọ́run sọ Al-Qur'ani kalẹ̀ lórúkọ àwọn àmì. Akí àwọn afárá káàbọ̀ dáadáa. Wọ́n fọ́nà mọ̀. Kó àwọn ogbó. Tọ́lá mọ̀ wọ́n bọ̀ lèmi kọ́ ní sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn ni wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀. Pàápàá jùlọ akí àwọn bàbá wa tí Ọlọ́run fi wọ́n sí olórí wa nílùú tá a wà yìí. Àwọn stars wa tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ dákọ̀ wọn. Fadilatu Sheikh Abdulrahman Adesokan. Ọlọ́run kó jẹ́ kí a máa rí wọn pẹ́. Àwọn kó bá ṣe dáadáa fún wa. Jẹ́mi wọ́n gún fún wa. Àwọn ní tukọ̀ rẹ̀ bọ́ká àwọn tó dé. Kò sì dàrú mọ́ wọn lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run níjú dàrú láíláí. Lẹ́yìn tí wọn, akí àwọn stars wa, àwọn sheikh wa, dókítà wa, Imam Abubakar Aliaga láti ìlú Ìlọrin ní Nàìjíríà. Ọlọ́run kó bá ṣe dáadáa fún wọn. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ àmàrí wọn bá. Bí wọ́n ṣe wá mọ́ yọjú sí wá gbogbo ìgbà ní torí iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run, ọlọ́mọdé oṣù wọn ṣe. Ibi tí wọ́n gbé dé ọlọ́mọdé ò takú síbẹ̀. Àádá ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn wọn lọ́jọ́ àlè kọ́sì wọn. Àwọn kọ́sì àwọn àgbàlagbà ló fi ń dá fún ọjà náà oríṣi wọn kọ́. Ẹgbẹ́ òrí wọn ọlọ́mọdé gbóra wọn náírà. Ẹ̀gbọ́n. Àwọn arábí ògbọ́n tí mo wí ó. Mo ti sọ ọlọ́rin ní sí i sọ èbó mọ́. Àwọn stars wà ní àgbà. Ẹgbẹ́ orí wọn rà, ìlú orí wọn rà. Gbọ́dọ̀ tó wá kéwù tiẹ̀. Àbábẹ̀lẹ̀ tí àfáà tí wọ́n ti dá lẹ́sì sí lọ́rùn, wọ́n fún ní léèsì. Léèsì àwọn kílẹ̀ gbọ́lẹ̀ tí mo lẹ́wọ̀n ní. Ó wá tí wọ́n á rò ìtọ́kùn lè sọ ọmọ tó lẹ́gùn bà. Wọ́n fi ìyà jẹ. Wọ́n náà tún wọ́n fi ìyà jẹ rárẹ̀. لماذا تعلمنا وما فضل علمنا
إذا لم يفدنا كل ما نتعلم لماذا تعلمنا ومفعد العلمنا إذا لم يفدنا كل ما نتعلم àlè ìjọba kí fún ọ̀rọ̀ bàbá yìí àbí tá a bá tẹ ojú ọ̀nà wọn tá a rìnà tí wọ́n rìn tí wọ́n dúró láàrin ìjọ wọ́n sì sọ òdodo bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ní pè wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ní pè wọ́n mọ́ ọlọ́run pè wọ́n gbówó wọ́n sì ń pè ọlọ́run dá wọn lóhùn èyí kọ́ lẹ́yìn sí èyí lẹ́ẹ̀ tí rí tara yín sí. Abdulrahman àwọn ọmọ kí wà ń tara ń pọ̀ ó wu àwọn bàbá yìí ó wà níbi àtúrígbó olówó pọ̀ láàrin wọn ọba ní ilé sọ̀rọ̀ downstairs lórí olówó pọ̀ ní àgọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ sáwọn olówó ń bẹ láàrin wọn ẹtí sọmọ géèjì owó kí ló ní a mà sí ara wa nílùú yìí ìgbà ìwọ̀n fi ń dẹ́rù bá àwọn afá abẹ́rẹ́ tẹ́lẹ̀ kò sẹ́rù mọ́ amòye tẹ́ ń gbà àwọn afá tiwa ṣé àtúnlá alábìnrin ọlọ́jẹ́ kẹ́nu wọn gùn ilé ní wọ́n jẹ́ ìyàmọ́ wọ́n ṣe kí ní wọ́n púpọ̀ wọ́n á kó agbólúgbọ́n àtàwọn àbúrò rẹ̀ wá ní àyí sẹ́ẹ̀tì hàmọ̀ kọ́mọ̀ nìkò burú torí àwọn sí àmà ní yàtọ̀ bí ilé-wà ìtọ́gẹ́ ẹ wà lọ léèwé àwọn ọkọ̀ owó jáàmù fún ọ̀rẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ lọ lè gba jáàmù àbúrò wa ti di lọ́yà ní sí wọn ti dàkẹ́ ọ̀tẹ́ǹtì wọ́n sì mọ kéwú ntẹ́yìn òmà wọ́n mọ̀ wọ́n tún wọ́n mọ̀ tẹ́mù wọn wá ní parọ́ fún yín wọ́n mọ̀ sòótọ́ fún yín torí fún wọn tọ́ níbi tí yín náà ti dá àwọn ọmọ yín ó ti dá fún wọn parọ́ fún yín torí kọ́pọ̀kọ́pọ̀ tẹ́ fún wọn ni wọ́n gbọ́jọ́ wájú àwọn ọmọ yín jẹ́ nù bí wọ́n ṣe parọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ tí yín nì àwọn ọmọ wọn bí wọ́n ṣe parọ́ fún yín nì àwọn ọmọ wọn tún parọ́ fún àwọn ọmọ yín. limaza ta'allamna wa ma fadlu ilmina kí là ń kéwú fún bá a bá jákè kí là ń kéwú fún ó gbé kí rẹ lónìí yàrá rẹ ni ẹjẹ tó sọ yóò bá afáàní dẹgbẹlẹ àbáwá táyé ṣe orúkọ yín hàn nílùú nínú àwọn mùsùlùmí tó dáa kòrán dẹgbẹlẹ ní ilé túfátíà ẹ wò ní english dé bàbá tí èmi bá dẹgbẹlẹ tí bá wá rí yín bẹ ìwà náà kọ yín kéwú ìwà ní bàbá ẹ̀yin ẹ̀jù wa lọ ọlọ́run sì ní kí ó dáa fún yín ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ sì jẹ́ chairman bàbá wa èbó èyí jẹ́ secretary bẹ́ẹ̀ láti wá rí ni àfa wa ni ẹ̀ máa pè é ní pèmí nílé mọ́mù torí ẹ̀ mọ̀ pé ọ̀dọ̀ àfa yín ni ẹ̀ ń bọ̀ wá gbogbo òkú òkú tó yẹ wọ́n ṣe fún àfa yẹn ni ẹ̀ ṣe fún mi èyí tó jẹ́ dandan lórí tèmi náà kì í ṣe fún yín ó ní kí n tọ́ ní sójú ọ̀nà ọlọ́run náà ṣe fún yín àwọn ọba dúkùrù kẹ máa ha bí á lè bó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni olóòwò àmọ́ kúkìlá sábà ìfún wọn nílé ọkọ ní ìlú ìyàrá fi ń jẹra wa ni gbogbo àwọn sábàb mo sọ fún wa bàbá sáfà tó dẹgbẹlẹ mọ dẹgbẹlẹ torí ariwo ọjà bí a bá ń gbọ́ owó lọ sí ìdí òwò ní òwò bó bá ti ìmọ̀ lọ́mọ kọ́ njọ tó bá dé ìwọ kọ́ ló dálẹ̀ fún ọ náà ló dálẹ̀ fún ọ. ìsì yìí ẹlẹ́yẹlẹ́ ti pẹ̀lú ìlú ó wá kárí ìlú oníkàlùkù wá dá gẹ́lẹ̀ wọn ò sì mọ gẹ́gẹ́ pa ẹ̀sìn wọn á gbé òfin ayé lórí òfin ọlọ́run wọn wàá pè ọ ìwọ náà gbẹrù gbọlọ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn dáadáa òun wá ń lè sọ́tọ́ fún ọ wọn ò mẹ̀rún kí látọ̀ bí ọdún mẹ́wàá tí ẹ̀sùn wà Nasfat yìí kọ́mọ mọ̀ kúrò aláwùká fókọ́sì wọ́n yàtọ̀ àwọn afọ́ náà yàtọ̀ àwọn tó bá sí bí àwọn afọ́ ara àwọn stars wà ní Abdulrahman Adesokan Ivy League ni wọ́n lọ ẹ̀mọ́ tó ń pè ní Ivy League àwọn first class college ni wọ́n kò bẹ́ẹ̀ bí Harvard bí Yale òní wọ́n ti gba first degree wọn second degree wọn Ivy League rẹ̀ UI tí wọ́n ṣe tó ní ká gbàrú àwọn èèyàn láti di ọdún mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún àbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ kí wọ́n mọ̀ ní dental insurance ẹ̀yin oníwèé lẹ́sìn gbà wọ́n ẹ̀sìn fẹ́ kọ́ lọ́wọ́ sànú èyí náà. wọ́n ń ṣe PhD wọn lọ́wọ́ nísìnyí dásì tábà tún gbé dáhẹ́ ni wọ́n tọrọ owó fún lè mọ́mù àwọn ọmọ kí wọ́n wá rí yìnyín láwọn àjókòó tì òní rìn Nebraska sí Nebraska ni wọ́n ti wọ́n nílé ìwé yá lọ́dọ̀ kó tún ó sí ọ́ léṣe kọ́ wá padà wálé pẹ̀lú nǹkan ọwọ́ á nílé ọtí níwèé ó tún wá láwọn ọmọ kí gbogbo tí wọ́n wá ń pè lẹ́gbẹ́ nísìnyí tí ó wàá dú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ yìí nuzila fi laylatil qadr. Kùránì òru lẹ́nu kọ́ ni wọ́n sọ kalẹ̀ wọ́n lè wá jòkó tì. Bàbá ní kẹ́ ẹ̀ dìde kúrò mí kẹ́ ẹ máa lọ ká dá tàbí gbé ọba tí ń gbé káàdà kọ́ tèmi nire ọba tí ń kọ́ káàdà kọ́ tèmi nire dákún mọ́kànlá tí ò dá lémi ẹ̀ náà sọ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ wá dúró títí tí àwọn ẹ̀ wá gbogbo wíwá wí ẹ bá lọlé ọdún tí ń bọ̀ bákan náà à ń tẹ̀ yín à ń tẹ̀ra wa èmi ò dúró ní iná.
Inna a'taynahu Laylatul Qadr.
Fi Laylatul Qadr.
Wa ma adraka ma Laylatul Qadr.
Diraya nìyẹn kìí ṣe riwaya kí ni mo pè diraya ni kìí ṣe riwaya àwọn tó wọn ní diraya ni wọn bẹ jòkó yìí àwọn fáwọn ní riwaya lẹgbàá ni ẹ̀tọ́ wa mọ riwaya tí o mọ diraya kò tí kí o síra ló kà má àdúrà ọkà gbogbo nǹkan àsọkalẹ̀ kí ni ó fi mọ̀ yín tá a ní kó omi tẹ́lẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀gá ọmọ bínú tí ó sọ̀rọ̀ sí wa má àdúrà ọkà kí ni ó fi mọ̀ yín pé wájú ọjọ́ iwájú wa la fẹ́ tú sí àfẹ́ kó wa làbá yín bàbá dẹ́jà làbí ẹ̀sẹ̀ ìní wá yín bàbá tí mo dé àárín lónìí tí mo ní mo lálàá rí nǹkan lè yí káàkiri bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń bá gbọ̀ wá ẹ̀rí lọ́dún tí ń bọ̀ ẹ̀rí mu wá. máa àdúrà ọ̀gá kí ni ó fi ń dáhùn yìí kí ni ó fọlá rẹ̀ mọ̀ yín kí ni ó fi pàtàkì rẹ̀ mọ̀ yín. ìdáhùn yẹn ń bá káàkiri yẹn abọ́dúnlẹ̀tì àwọn kékeré àbọ̀rọ̀ jókòó sínú irú ẹ̀ à ń bá tiwọn jẹ́ nìyẹn ń bàtà bàrà jẹ́. sáà ní náà fi ṣe jábàbí fún yín ni ẹ̀ kúkú máa àwọn náà ni ẹ máa gbé mi kú yóò sì máa wú bẹ́ẹ̀ tó wá padà bẹ́ẹ̀ kò yí wú àdúgbò nǹkan mi láti ṣe fún yín. àwọn ṣe yù àwọn dúró lórí ìtọ́lá àtọ́lẹ́ bí. à ń ṣiṣẹ́ wa à ń lò láàbò wa fún yín. èyí náà ẹ mọ̀ mọ̀nà ẹ tún mọ́sálásí ṣe ẹ tún ní ọlọ́run ṣe ẹ tún ẹgbẹ́ ṣe awwal ma yajibu ala al-mukallafi بعد حصول العلم تصحيح إيمانه bí a bá ti ní mọ̀tẹ́ kó tún dàgbọ́ rẹ̀ sólókù kí la kò rí ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́ ẹ̀já bèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa bàbá rí dáhùn má àdúrà ọ̀kà mọ̀ Laylatul Qadr Laylatul Qadr.
Laylatul Qadr khayrun min alfi shahr.
ìwé ìdáhùn wí fún yìí kẹ́ gbọ́ lẹ́nu wa ó lóore ju kẹ́ máa ka àwọn àwé kan tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní rí mbẹ̀ fún 3 years lọ.
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها.
ìyàwó àbá yóò sí bí ẹ̀ wọ́n ní sí lọ́mọ sáré wọn pẹ̀lú
تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها.
والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر. àwọn màláíkà tí wọ́n ń gbé ọ̀rọ̀ máa ń bọ̀ Muhammad sọ̀kalẹ̀ nísìnyí wọ́n bá déwájú ọlọ́run ọlọ́run dúpọ̀ ọ̀nà sí bá wọn wọ́n ní bá a ṣe bá wọn lọ́dún tó lọ́la ṣe bá wọn lọ́dún yìí wọ́n yàtọ̀. mùsùlùmí àní mọ́ṣáláṣí mẹ́rin àbí máìlú nàìjíríà ní Houston àìkí ìdí papọ̀ torí pápẹ́ wọn ábùrà mẹ́rin títí ẹ̀ mọ̀ wí gbọ́dọ̀ wí àbíjẹ́ mọ́ pẹ̀lú lóko àìkí ìdí papọ̀ àsì láwọn elétò aláwọn ẹlẹ́kọ̀ọ́ láàrin wa kò sí tó fa afá àkọlà gbà mú afá àkọlà ní ìjọmọ awọlá ní ìjọ àgbà wọn afá àsábẹ̀rẹ̀ ni àti ìkún yìí nìkan yìí ẹ̀yọ̀ kan àti ìkún bẹ̀rẹ̀ pàmò pé yìí sí mẹ́ta jímọ̀ ẹ̀yọ̀ kan àti ìkún
bẹ̀rẹ̀ bá lọ kí jimá sí mẹ́ta kẹgbẹ́ ọ̀pọ̀ kọ́lá wí ẹgbẹ́ lè pọ̀ kò sí tó burú bẹ̀rẹ̀ bá máa ń tàn sí. ẹ̀sẹ̀ wa gba ìmọ̀mù tí o lè ṣe kútúbà kí ni ìtumọ̀ ìmọ̀mù tẹ̀ gbà tí o lè ṣe kútúbà èyí náà sì jókòó tí ẹ̀sìn ọ̀pẹ̀ ń tẹ̀ra yìí ìgbà bẹ́ẹ̀ rẹ̀ sanwó ìmọ̀mù kiri Abdulrahman ẹni kí wọ́n á kọ́ mi sí àwọn ẹ̀sẹ̀ kútúbà náà ọjọ́ jimá sáwọn èbó sanwó mi lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ ní wọ́n á jókòó tí ọ ní ọgbọ́n bá fún lọ́wọ́ ìlú kúkú ni tẹ́lẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ mẹ́lẹ́ àyíkẹ́ tó ọ̀rọ̀ òfin bẹ́ẹ̀ ni rọ̀ bí ẹ̀mí
ìkọlẹ̀ amọ̀rẹ́.
ọ̀pọ̀ ẹ̀dá àwọn wíwú yìí ní rọ̀ bí i àti ọlọ́run la fi ń wí fún yàrá kọ́ là ń wí ọ ọ̀rọ̀ adé ẹ̀rọ kọ́ ni mo ń sọ yìí wọ́n pẹ́ torí ti bàbá mi ni yìí ti bẹ́ẹ̀ gba ipa yìí ti kọ́lé wa tán bàdàn ṣé wákà ni mọ́dá ni àbí kíní kan ní ilé ìdí fún yín ẹ sì kó wa Abdulrahman wọ́n ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ nílùú yìí l'Amẹ́ríkà àwọn afá ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n wà á mọ̀ ara àwọn ọ̀dọ́ wọlé mọ̀ ara àwọn ẹ̀sìn dára bí fún l'Amẹ́ríkà yìí lọ́wọ́ ní káàdì fún gbà Nàìjíríà ní dára bí ti pay àwọn eléyìí kọ́ńtàkì gbà yìí èyí náà bá mi oníwàásí rẹ mi wáyé lè oníwàásí rẹ ọmọ ẹ̀jẹ̀ ni àwọn afá wọ́n mọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ tiẹ̀ ẹni wọ́n ṣe mo ṣe ń ṣe ni sàlámù nìyíyà
àtàmàtìlá ẹ̀rọ.
ọ̀dọ́ àwọn ìwé yìí àlàáfíà àlàáfíà wọ́n fún ara wọn ọjọ́ iwájú wọn lè bá a dá àtà mẹ́tìlá ìfàjẹ́ kálí bá a mọ́jú síbi tó dáa ọjọ́ iwájú wọn lè bá a dá kíta àwọn ọmọ wọn lè bá a dá. ọlọ́run wọlé àwùjọ àwọn àyè ṣàánú wa ẹgbẹ́ Islam jẹ́ àmọ́ lọ síwájú wọ́n jẹ́ alẹ́ yìí mọ́ wọ́n lọ agbára tó wọ́ ẹ wọ́n lọ tó promise àdúgbò Muhammad nínú oṣù tá a wà yìí tó fi ní kí wọ́n máa wá sí gbogbo ẹ̀ wá rẹ̀ yìí ó lágbára kó sọ fún pé ọjọ́ báyìí ló bọ́ sí àmọ́ náà wọ́n fẹ́ ká get too comfortable ó wá ní mẹ́wàá gbẹ̀yìn náà ní kẹ́ ẹ máa wà ẹ wá nítorí pé ẹ mọ̀ bóyá ẹ lọ́dún àbẹ́ ẹ lọ́dún yìí kó tún tẹ̀lé dìbò kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀tò wá ọlọ́run náà fẹ́ ká máa tẹ̀síwájú ó fẹ́ ká ní consistency ọlọ́run ṣàánú wa ní Houston wọ́n da Islamic community ní Houston ọlọ́run bá wa ṣe àlè ṣe orí wa lọ́lẹ́ àwọn lẹ́yìn kan ṣe ọ́ bá wa ṣe ọlọ́run ọba orí wa lọ́lẹ́ àwọn lẹ́yìn kan ṣe bá wa ṣe ọlọ́run ọba. tani chairman níbí tani chairman níbí báyìí àwọn dà
wọ́n ṣe dùn lọ.
wọ́n dà
wọ́n ṣe dùn.
vice wọn bí ẹni oyè tí wọ́n fi mí jẹ mi ò lé nìkan já o bá mi jẹ ọlọ́run ọba orí mi lọ́lẹ́.
mo lè nìkan ṣe.
secretary dà láti secretary. ẹ dáhùn ẹgbẹ́ ìfọwọ́sẹ́ tí mo ń ṣe yìí kí n bá lọ lè ṣe kí ní fáwọn èèyàn pàtí fún àwọn èèyàn $800 ní wákàtí kan tí wọ́n ń pariwo látara tó tó kàkí tíra kí n tó wá ẹ̀ sanwó kẹ̀kẹ́ ẹ̀ tún wá bú mi lórí ẹ̀ ọlọ́mọdé fi àjẹwà kò ń bọ̀ wọn kò ìlera Abdulrahman bí n bá tún wá travel wọ́n tún wá gba hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì wọ́n tún gba dráìfà tí wọ́n á gbé mi wọ́n tún fún mi lóúnjẹ àwọn etí ìyá yín mo máa ń tó gba oúnjẹ ni. sẹ́kítírì ó lórí mi lọ́lẹ́ o n ò lé ní kankan o bá mi kọ́ ọlọ́wọ́ ọba orí mi lọ́lẹ́ n ò lé ní kankan ẹjá wà fáà ní orí $20 ló ń bá dùn. ẹ̀dùnkọ́ wo Nasfat. ìkàwé ní kó wọ́n ní àfà wọ́n ní ẹ̀ ń ṣe MC mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ní tí wọ́n kò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni master of ceremony mo sì ní contract táwọn èèyàn sign kí wọ́n tó pè mí. wọ́n ní àpò yìí ẹ mọ̀ pé ìyẹn tẹ̀ ní sí ọlọ́run mo ní iṣẹ́ ìsùn ni mo ní jẹ́ ń bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. ìjọ mo ń lọ ilé ìwé ńlẹ̀ yìí ẹ̀rí mi ìjẹ́ yín wọ́n náírà. bí n bá sọ̀rọ̀ wákàtí kẹ́ $800 ni ìlọ́mú tí ní àìní lọ́hùn níbi ìyàwó tiẹ̀ náà sóúnjẹ èbó sóúnjẹ lọ fún wọn lọ́hùn ó ti dúró náà lọ́wọ́ bá dára wọ́n ní bá lọ́lẹ́ o àwọn olóyè nìkan ṣe o báwa á ṣe ọlọ́run ọ̀la orí bá lọ́lẹ́ àwọn olóyè nìkan ṣe bá ṣe ọlọ́run. sọ̀rọ̀ ara bíkà ọ̀bẹ mi ní sábà wọ́n ṣe wọ́n sára àwọn aláìgbésẹ̀ yìí
pé Allahu Akbar. Sọ pé Allahu Akbar. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa kí akànùkọ̀ kí a ṣe Suratul Qadr fún àwọn ustaz wa àti rí wọn gbọ́ lè ní ó wà tá a bá ń gbọ́ wọn ọ̀tún ní ọlọ́run ohun náà ọlọ́run mọ́ pààlà ìlànà ọlọ́run kó wá ní ṣe àlékún karama yìí kó wá ṣàlékún istijaba fún yìí ká ṣe Suratul Qadr.
àwọn kan bẹ tí wọ́n wò wá níwò wípé à ń waste time ara wa wọ́n sì wà strongly committed to it. Iná ni àwọn Christian àwọn Nàìjíríà nù àwọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọn màpáwò ẹ̀jẹ̀ pa náà. Now àwọn Christian wọ́n máa wò wá tàánú pé àwọn eléyìí waste time ara wọn torí pé àwọn náà wà committed síbi oyin tí wọ́n wà. Àwọn tí wọ́n ń bọ Ọ̀ṣun, àwọn tí wọ́n ń bọ Ọya, àwọn náà wà committed síbi tí wọ́n wà. Àmúwo Ọlọ́run ó ṣe àánú wa lórí ni'matul Islam. Oore tọ́lọ́run máa ṣe fún yàn ọ̀pọ̀ ní amúlé ìlàhì alálẹ́ ìbáàdé kathiratun wà ájálù nànàjà àbàtul àwòládì.
ní amúlé ìlàhì alálẹ́ ìbáàdé kathiratun wà ájálù nànàjà àbàtul àwòládì.
Àfáà ló lọ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó ní amúlé ìlàhì alálẹ́ ìbáàdé kathiratun wà ájálù nànàjà àbàtul àwòládì. Ó ní ìdẹ̀ra tọ́lọ́run máa ṣe fún yàn láyé ọ̀pọ̀. Àwọn òun á wò ó
wọ́n jà lóhùn
èyí tó fi ga jù nínú tọ́lọ́run máa ṣe fún yàn òun náà ni ọmọ téèyàn bí kọ́ wá yàn kọ́ yanjú lójú ẹ̀. Àbí Ọlọ́run gbogbo àwọn ọmọ ẹnì kọ̀ọ̀kan wa tí wọ́n ti yàn tí wọ́n yanjú mọ́jà mọ́bànújẹ́ lára wọn. A máa bá àkàn tó wá ronú pé ìrònú ti ẹnu ìrònú rẹ ni ìwọ ló rò ó sì rí o. Àmọ́ òun wá ní wàmí máa záàdà ní sharifan wà báhájẹ́ wà kíntù bí àkàmásì hátọ̀ ó tàráyà dùkúlí táhtàkà òníkà yá ìbádí wà á ń sọ yárítàlí ahmada nabiyyan. Ó ní inú tọ́lọ̀ ó ní
ومما زادني شرفا
وبهجا. Inú tọ́lọ̀ ṣe fún mi tó kó iyì bá mi ní gbogbo ibi tí mo bá dé.
ومما زادني شرفا وبهجا
وكدت
بأحمسي
الثرايا. Mo fẹ́ lè máa rìn káàkiri kí n máa yan kángbákángbá kí n wẹ̀wù kí n dé fìlà kí n wọ́ bàtà kí n máa wá gbẹ́sẹ̀. Kí wọ́n bá bí mi pé kí ló fà ọdúnwóló nǹkan náà ni dòkúlí táhtàkà òníkà yá ìbáyí.
دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي يا إلهي يا عبادي دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي
دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي ọlẹ́nu gbọ́dọ̀ ń bá ní yá ìbádí.
دخولي تحت قولك يا عبادي.
Nígbà tí mo mọ̀ pé mo wà nínú ẹrú Ọlọ́run wà á sọ ìyárìta ahamada ní nàbíjà. Ó ní kí o tún wá fi mí sínú ìjọ àná Muhammad. La ilaha illallah. Jama, have you ever asked yourself, bàbá àtàná tó bí ọmọ, báwo ni bàbá kẹwàá rí? Irú ayé wo wọ́n gbé? Báwo ni wọ́n ti gbé? Báwo làwọn ìyàwó wọn? Ìjọ tọ́lọ́run ní bọ́ bá ṣe ìbádà dọ́kan. Kí ló fà á? Tọ́lọ́run fi filẹ̀ Laylatul Qadr tó fi ta ní Muhammad. Àwọn ìjọ ti lọ. Àwọn tọ́lọ́run ní láwùyò kò lákì ní fílù ha fílìbì láàdì. Owó tó dárò àwọn ọ̀hún má. Tó ṣe pé ẹni ọba kún kékeré táwọn èèyàn máa sunkún pé yéé kí ló dé ó kún kékeré ni ó sì lò 300 years. Ó kún kékeré ló kú lóòótọ́ àbí kú ni tọ́lá àwọn bàbá rẹ̀ lé wọ́n lò tó lé ní 1000 years. Àwọn àjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ti lọ ẹwà nẹ́bí lóhùn ọ̀pọ̀ máa dọ́ta ọdún tí ẹ ṣe 40 ọmọ 50 years lọ́dà òní mọ̀ yàn ọ́ lànà ni ọmọ fi 950 ó fi jíṣẹ́ ó di mélòó níbo ni 1000 tó wá yí pé wà láyé nìdú ilé afájìlá ń kà fara ọlọ́run àwọn eléyìí òkúta ànájà àná làwọn eléyìí o ọmọ àjànà pé èyí àrà làwọn eléyìí o ọmọ tẹ́mi bá bí erin níjọ o àwọn eléyìí o. Gbọ́rọ̀ nígbò ní 1000 years torí bẹ́ẹ̀ Núhù ṣàdédé bínú ìyá kan lọ pọmọ lẹ́yìn ní lọ ọmọ rẹ̀ wá ní ìwọ ìyá bá mú òkò kíní ọ̀tọ̀ ọlọ́run yìí ànábì ọlọ́run ní bá wíwá pé kíní ọ̀tọ̀ ọlọ́run yìí lọ́ba bá mú òkò ìyá bá fún ọ lọ́ba fún ọmọ ọgbọ́n ọwọ́ fún un ní òkò ọmọ yìí wá lẹ Núhù lóko wájú Núhù àbẹ́jẹ́ oríṣi ike náà wọ́n wá lùsì òògùn gbà yìí wọ́n wá wàkọ́lá Núhù rọ́bì látàdára àdàlẹ̀ àrùbí nínà lè káfìrí nàdà yára. rọ́bì látàdára àdàlẹ̀ àrùbí wàlá yálìdú ìlà fàájì nàdà yára. wọ́n dé ànábì ọlọ́gbọ́n àwọn eléyìí àdúgbò kó ẹ̀kú òdebí rẹ lẹ́yìn 950 years lẹ́yìn 1000 iná ní ọlọ́run ní kí tú fánú lómi bàbá dáadáa kò sí bàbá kan tí wọ́n fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ rẹ̀ kọ́dà bọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀dín bá ń yá yàkúyà ó dọ̀wọ́ ẹ̀yìn ọmọ Amẹ́ríkà yìí gbà yìí jẹ́ òkèlè fóònù tí wọ́n máa tẹ́ jọba fẹ́fẹ́ gbá àwọn òbí wọn sọ ní ìlọ́ra CBS
911.
síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ Núhù wá ń pe ọmọ rẹ̀ yá bunayya irkab ma'ana wa la takun ma'al kafirin qala sa'awi ila al-jabal ya'simuni min al-ma' qala la 'asima al-yawma illa man rahim. ọmọ mi o wá wọ ọkọ̀ ọ̀la pẹ̀lú wa ibẹ̀ wọn ká lọ jẹ̀mọ́ káfí yé mi lẹ̀ túfánù wa ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn 1000 years ọlọ́run pa gbogbo wọn rẹ́ lẹ́yìn 1000 anabi Nóà tó wá lò 124 years tí n tó wá sí pé ó lò 1124 years láyé. 1124 years ìlólò láyé kí wá sòun nìkan gbogbo wọn báwọn ti lò ń gbà tí wọn lò lànàbí wa ronú wípé àwọn kan ní wọ́n lo 1000 years láyé wọ́n àwọn tó sin lọ́rùn nù wọn. Ìjọ àlùmọ̀ tèmi yìí our lifespan is between 60 70. Ẹni ọba ti wo clock 60 dídá fúlì lọ́ra kan láti clock 50 dídá fúlì lọ́ra kan bọ́yá ẹni gbogbo ẹni ó lo 50 ló lè tún lo another 50 bọ́yá ni. Alábi wọn wọ́ndà pé àsìkò lifespan tàwọn èèyàn mi yìí kéré Ọlọ́run bó wá ni wọ́n ṣe rí irú bí mo fẹ́ gbé wọn dé ìbànújẹ́ lànàbì ìbànújẹ́ Ọlọ́run wa ni ya Muhammad inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr.